Hi, Stuart from Bletchley with my Porsche 911 SC Targa. As you can see, I've started putting the con rods in. So I'm just going to go through the procedure of putting the last one in and talking down just to show you one way of doing it. Okay. Right, I'll just move that out the way a little bit. That's better. Right, so basically you need to replace all the bolts. You can't use the old ones once they're stretched. That's it. So it's new ones, I'm afraid. So that's the part number, and also you get a new nut with it as well. So you have to order these separately. I find when I first put these in, these are a little bit tight to get in first of all. Where the old ones have got a bit of wear on them and they're shiny. These have got no wear on them and they're very sticky when you put them in. Okay, so make sure it's all oiled inside there. Just to help everything go in. And I'll just put a bit of oil in the lid and just put a generous amount on the bolt. Put it in, line it up, and what I do is I've got a hammer with a copper end and a soft end. Just line it up and give it a couple of taps, and that'll just get it so it's nice and hard in there. Drop the next one in, line it up, once again a couple of taps. So then what I do is I put the two halves together, making sure the numbers match. Put the nuts on just to initially start it off. Try not to drop it on the floor if you can help it. So basically I'll just get the nuts started on those, and then with the soft end of the hammer give a couple of more taps just to get it to bite. Just put it down, keep an eye that when you're turning that you're not turning the other end, because once you turn that it'll go past the place where it was sitting, couple of more taps, wind the nut up. Now these won't want to pull in just on their own. So now it's got them started nicely. That's sitting quite nicely. That's one's just gone home. And so is that one, slacking them off again. Now they won't just pull apart as strong as anything. So once again you have to give it a couple of taps to get it to open up. So I just use the copper ends because it's not going to damage the nut then. Make sure it's wound down on the thread so it don't damage the thread. One tap, you can see it just opened up straight away. Bit of a gap there. Another tap, that's opened up again. Slacken off the nuts. Still won't pull apart. This is because they're all noon bolts. That's got it this time. Right, so the nuts, I just drop those in some oil just to soak. Everything else has a wipe, a clean and a check. Make sure there's nothing that's got in there or sitting on those edges, because what will happen is anything that gets between those edges, if it holds the two halves off, it's likely that the bearing could turn in it, and then what happens is that rotates and it as you can imagine, just completely buggers things up. Okay, so make sure all of this is clean. Just give it all a bit of a blowout. Make sure you got everything off of it. Shells as well, even though they're brand new, when they come out the box, there's no saying that there isn't a little bit of muck on the back of it or on the face of it. I'll just give them a little bit of a wipe off with a cloth. Make sure they're initially clean. A little bit of air on them. Where you're going to put them on here, make sure that this is clean as well. This has already been all polished. So just make sure it's clean. Throw it all in it. A dab of engine oil on it. Okay, so obviously getting your connecting rod this way, once again, just give it a little wipe off, check again, in case you've blown anything on it. Fit the tab into the lug and just pop it in and level it off. Set that one down. Same with this, make sure it's clean. Make sure the back's clean. Fit the lug in to the groove and just gently press down and it just drops straight in. I then put a small amount of running in lubrication onto the face, and a small amount onto the face on that side as well. So lubricate both halves. Oil on the thread. Now with the on here you've got your numbers, you've got 4, and you've also got the matching numbers that they give you to match up the two parts, so that you know that if you've got all matching numbers it's the right half. And what I do is I put the numbers, the main numbers, facing down towards the exhaust. So if it's on that side of the engine they're facing down, and if it's round this way they're facing down. So what I don't do is I don't have half this way and then flip it and then half, do you know what I'm saying? So all the numbers face down towards the exhaust. This is number 4, so it's the first one on your crankshaft, because you've got 4, 1 and so on and so forth. So just pop it on, squeeze it up, take one of your nuts that you've soaked in oil, pop that on. So your next nut that you soaked in oil, pop that on. Using a standard ratchet, just wind that down a little bit so it just bites up on both sides. You want to try and do equal each side. Just keep an eye on the gap and you should see it going down evenly. Once that's bit, you can feel the nut completely pull up there. Once again I can feel the nut completely pull up there. Then you take your torque wrench. Now, one of the books I've been looking at says the connecting rod bolts to be 36 foot-pounds or 5.0 kgfm. Okay, so what I've done is I've just set that at what have I got there? 30. Right, I've got 31 pounds on there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to wind it down at 31 pounds first, both sides, and then I'm going to go to 36 both sides. Okay, and that feels pretty good. So now I'm going to adjust it to 36.